take your seat if you've got one. Well, good morning, everybody, and thank you for joining us this morning at Rugby League Central. It's the most wonderful time of the year. Spring has sprung, September has hit us, and so has the start of the NRLW Telstra Premiership Finals Series. My name is Marley Silva, and I will be your host this morning as we officially launch this year's NRLW Finals Series. It's been an incredible year for the 2023 NRLW season, with 4 new teams joining the competition. The West Tigers, Canberra Raiders, Cronulla Sharks and North Queensland Cowboys joined us to make this season the best one yet. Before we get underway with the formalities, I'd like to begin by acknowledging the traditional owners of the land that we're currently on, the Gadigal of the Eora Nation, and pay my respects to the elders past, present and emerging. A warm welcome to our junior rugby league players who are here in the crowd today, supporting their teams, bringing the colour as they have done all season. The women's game is the fastest growing area of participation in the sport, and that's thanks in part to the growing popularity of the NRLW competition and the talent that we have in abundance in this game. And we've got to say, there are 4 fantastic players here with us today to prove it. Now, without further ado, it's time to bring out our players in their finals week matchups. On Sunday, we begin at McDonald Jones Stadium at 2:05 p.m. with the Newcastle Knights competing against the Brisbane Broncos. The Knights NRLW side are ably carrying the hopes of the Hunter after winning last year's premiership in just their 2nd season. And this year's minor premiers, well, they could take some stopping. Trying to do just that, the Brisbane Broncos. The early powerhouse of the NRLW, the Broncos won the first 3 premierships, but haven't done so in recent years. But they sure have the talent, and they've had very recent form on the board. Please welcome from the Brisbane Broncos, Romy Teitzel, and representing the Knights, Hannah Southwell. Later on Sunday afternoon, we have our 2nd NRLW Finals matchup, with the Sydney Roosters and Gold Coast Titans going head-to-head at Allianz Stadium. The star-studded Roosters are into the NRLW semi-finals again. They've made it this far every year since the competition expanded from 4 teams. And up against them, the Gold Coast Titans. In this, their 3rd season in the competition, the Titans are at the semi-final stage for the first time since their debut in 2021. Please give a warm welcome to the Roosters co-captain Isabel Kelly and from the Gold Coast Titans, Georgia Hale. Well, ladies, congratulations and thank you all for being here with us. Would you please welcome our first speaker to the stage, the CEO of the NRL, Andrew Abdo.
Good morning, everyone. How good is this? It's great to be here, and this is a pretty historic place for us, the museum. It's where we get to celebrate what's all that's come before us, and we get to think about all that lies ahead of us. So quite a fitting place for us to launch this year's NRLW Premiership. I also acknowledge the traditional owners of the land in which we gather today, the Gadigal of the Eora Nation, and acknowledge as well elders past, present and emerging. Which again is quite fitting, because what I'd like to do today is as we think about the women's competition and we think about growth of women's rugby league more broadly, think about and celebrate the past, the present and the future. This game wouldn't be where it is today if it weren't for the pioneers, the people that laid the foundation for the women's game that we celebrate and enjoy today. People like Maggie Maloney or Kat Fanning or Karen Murphy or Tasha Gale. These were wonderful players that were playing in a different era, a more challenging era for women. But today we are here celebrating something that is truly special, truly integrated into the rugby league fabric. And this launch is symbolic of that. So to the present, we've got 4 fantastic teams in an expanded 10-team competition. And today, Romy and Hannah and Isabel and Georgia, you represent not just your teams and your clubs, but you also represent all aspiring professional athletes in our competition. And what a great competition it's been this year. We've seen more tries, more line breaks. The play the ball speed has come down incredibly, and some of the stats are just phenomenal in terms of the actual football. And that's translated into how the fans have engaged this particular season. We've had over 6 million people watch and enjoy the NRL Telstra Premiership on television. That's an unbelievable number, 25% up on last year, an average audience of 150,000 people per match. And why are the fans engaging so much in the NRLW Telstra Premiership competition? Because the football is fantastic. It's that simple. But we're also here celebrating the future. And we're joined by a number of junior rugby league kids from touch, tag, and tackle. Also the Hills Sports High School team who made the first ever women's national schoolgirls final here at Allianz Stadium just a few days ago. Welcome. This is a special year for us because not only have we grown from 6 teams to 10 teams, but we also have the opportunity to see the players play in their home grounds in semi-finals for the first time ever, and that's incredibly exciting. So we know that there will be a terrific atmosphere at McDonald Jones Stadium and at Allianz Stadium this weekend, this Sunday, and we're all very excited and we can't wait. It's also important for me to acknowledge Telstra. Telstra are the naming rights partner for not just the NRL competition, but the NRLW competition. Again, that's symbolic on a number of reasons. Number one, Telstra has been with us for over 20 years. Number two, as the naming rights partner of both the men's and women's competition, I think it sends a really important message. A message of how important women's rugby league is, number one, and number two, just how deeply integrated Telstra is in enabling not just elite football, but grassroots football as well. And more of that to come when you look at and hear from Telstra's promotion, activation and support of rugby league over the coming weeks. And it's a pleasure for me to acknowledge Janelle Sharples, who's the principal for media and sponsorships at Telstra here this morning. On behalf of everyone in rugby league, thank you to Janelle and thank you to Telstra. Now finally, it would be remiss of me not to talk about tickets. And encourage all of our fans to get to the semi-finals this weekend. We want as many people as possible enjoying the game live. And I'm pleased to announce that all NRL club members will have free access to the finals this weekend. It'll also be free for anyone under 18. And of course, tickets start from just $10 and go on sale to the public at 10 o'clock this morning. Well, actually, they're live on sale at the moment. I wish all the captains and the coaches and all 4 teams in this year's competition the best of luck for a thrilling finish. There's nothing quite like finals football. And this has been a monumental and groundbreaking year for us. You know, when we started talking about an NRLW Premiership, that was in 2016. We were ambitious and we were bold and we were excited about what the game could become for our players, becoming professional athletes, and for our fans embracing and enjoying the NRLW competition as we imagined it back in 2016. In 2017, when the Jillaroos won the World Cup, we were pleased to announce the first ever NRLW Premiership in 2018, and that was, of course, 4 teams. And we saw the Broncos dominate for 3 years. Then we saw the Roosters win, and then, of course, the Knights won last year. And we actually have no idea who's going to win this year, and that's what's so exciting about our competition. That's why fans love it. The football is great, but it's also unpredictable, it's exciting, and we've actually seen a huge amount of anticipation for this final series. But during this time, our participation has grown incredibly. In 2016, we had less than 20,000 women registered for any format of rugby league, touch, tag, or tackle. Today, we're heading close to 50,000. And our goal is to get to 100,000 over the next couple of years. And that is just phenomenal. From the grassroots up, celebrating opportunities for female athletes, female coaches, female administrators, and female leaders in our game. The women's game is changing the conversation and the culture of rugby league for the better. And it's not just about the football on the field, it's what happens off the field as well. So best of luck to all 4 teams. It's now my pleasure to introduce and call on Janelle Sharples to speak on behalf of Telstra.
Thanks so much, Andrew. I would also like to acknowledge the Gadigal people of the Eora Nation on the traditional owners of the land upon which we're meeting today. And I'd also like to pay my respects to their elders, both past, present and emerging. Thanks so much for having us here today. I really want to thank Andrew, CEO of the NRL, and Marley as well for kicking us off so beautifully this morning. I can't tell you how proud we are to have such an enduring partnership with the NRL, and especially to support the women's game as the naming rights partner of the NRLW Telstra Women's Premiership. Go Girls! Go the Girls! So we've been backing rugby league for 23 years in Australia, and we are so committed to helping sustain the growth of the game. So earlier this month, we announced a new event, which is the NRL Telstra Footy Country Tour, which aims to fuel the love of the game for country boys and girls, inspiring the next generation and the communities that support them. So this latest initiative, co-created with the NRL, is helping to sustain and grow the wonderful game of rugby league and celebrate the deep role it plays in our national identity and in communities across the country. By the time it ends, we kicked off a couple of weeks ago actually, but by the time it ends, the Telstra Footy Country Tour will have engaged with over 55 schools and clubs and caught up with approximately 10,000 kids and regional community participants across the eastern seaboard. And as the country's largest telecommunications company, we believe it is so important to support access to sport for both cultural and social prosperity. And we feel this is a great example of that commitment. We're currently halfway through the tour, and we've visited schools and local clubs throughout regional Queensland so far in the regions of Arakan, Mackay, Rockhampton, Cherbourg and Toowoomba, and we've really seen the positive impact as we come visit the communities, and the kids at school all have the opportunity to have their photos taken with the Women's Premiership Trophy, the Proven Summons Trophy, attend footy clinics and meet up with some really great legends of the game, and also some of the current stars. In Toowoomba, we were so delighted to be joined by NRLW player Jada Ferguson, who has inspired young girls and boys in her hometown and showed them that the NRL is no longer just a men's game. In addition to the NRL Telstra Footy Country Tour, Telstra will be bringing back the Telstra Junior Club Grants Initiative. That's a total of $216,000 worth of grants to 72 clubs across Australia, $3,000 per club. All the elite players playing at the grand final, and all the players of the women's teams, of course, and the men's, will be playing for a selected country rugby league club. The clubs will be selected by the NRL with a focus on clubs that need the money the most, and the funds will go towards player development, including new sporting equipment, registration fees, etc. So we hope that this will ultimately support more females, more girls joining the game and getting out there in amongst that game we all love. So I want to really thank again our partners, the partnership team with the NRL and the incredible team that support support us all year. We love working with you, and thank you so much. And of course, a huge congratulations to the 4 teams who are in: Romy, Hannah, Isabel, Georgia. Get out there and do your best. We really love watching you play, but we certainly really just admire that dedication and effort it takes to sustain yourselves across the season and continue to just play your best. So we love being part of it. We just adore watching you play. So really get out there and just absolutely do your best and enjoy yourselves. What we have done this year at Telstra is we have a new brand campaign. It's called This is Footy Country. It's celebrating the spirit of country football, which is the heart and soul of rugby league. And what I'd like to do now as I end is just share our 2-minute version of the ad, and we really hope that you enjoy it as much as we enjoyed making it. Thanks so much for having us today.
G'day, Mick. Got some bad news. We're not going to make it.
But today's the final. Did you let Rocket drive?
No? Maybe. We're going to have to forfeit.
Nah, leave it with me.
Oi, Mick, everything okay?
Forfeit? Nah.
That took us in an hour!
G'day, Jacko. You up for a run?
Oh, Mick, I'm pretty flat out, mate.
Right.
All right. Pothole, you're in charge.
Sarge, you good? Beauty.
Just take her back and apologise.
G'day, Miss Robinson.
How's your sidestep? Yep, get in.
And on the fourth day, the Lord created the rest. Amen.
Come on, Vic, hurry up.
G'day, Mick.
Hey, Merv, are you in?
Oh, yeah. Oh, no.
Hello, Vic. Hey, Tank, you right?
I'll play.
Yeah,
Can I play wing?
yeah, get in.
But I've never played before.
You'll be right.
I'm just going to take out the rubbish.
Get your kits on. Come on, it's game time.
How are they going? Ooh, they're getting smashed.
Isn't that such a fun package? Thank you so much, Chanel. Country footy really is the absolute lifeblood of the game. And thanks to Andrew as well for really emphasising this moment in the women's game. Now we've got a few questions for these incredible women up here on stage, and the real tough ones will come after the few I have from the junior players who've got a few questions as well. But I'll start with you, Romy. There's something going on up there in Brisbane this year, obviously. Your team seem to be really finding their form at the right time. Can you feel the team building?
Yeah, absolutely. I think we had 3 losses towards the front end of the season, which was a little bit disappointing and put a little bit of unnecessary pressure on ourselves. But with Princey and his experience, he's filled the squad with a lot of confidence and positivity, and I think that we built towards the back end of the season and finished really strong there in round 9 with a great win over the Dragons.
Yes, well, your club certainly knows how to win NRLW premierships, but you'll be coming up against Hannah's side. Hannah, congratulations on the minor premiership. It is the first of your club's history, both in the men's and women's competition. You've really proved yourselves as the best team at the back of the regular season. What will it take for you to go back-to-back?
Yeah, thanks for that. It's great for the club and great for the town as well. I think to go back-to-back, we just got to stick to the little things and make sure we just complete our sets. We know the Broncos are going to come out firing, so we've got to be on our A game. But I think the difference for us this year is we're just enjoying footy and playing with each other, and we're just having a good time out there. So, yeah, we're really looking forward to it.
Yes, and we're looking forward to see how those Newcastle Knights fans lift you up in McDonald Joe Stadium. I can see Romy's face. She knows what they're like. Isabel, this is the first time you'll host a home final just next door at Allianz Stadium. What does that mean to play on such a stage in such an important game?
Yeah, it's massive. We've only been able to play there one time this season, and that was absolutely incredible just to be back at home. But we're super excited. I think all the girls know that this is our home. We love playing here. Our HQ is just over the road. This is exactly where we want to be. So it's a massive advantage getting to have that home semi, but super excited for just all the Roosters fans to come support us and hopefully get us over the line in what's going to be a really tough game.
Well, yes, someone who's standing in your way, standing next to you. I feel bad, Georgia. I've got my back to you. Last year in 2022, your Titans finished at the bottom of that ladder. This year, you've shown a remarkable kind of rise, and now you're in the finals for the very first time. Take us through what's led to this amazing improvement we've seen.
Yeah, we've definitely showed a lot of grit and grind through our season. We haven't had the prettiest wins. during the start of the season, but we've found a way, and I think it just kind of sums up what our playing group's about. We're enjoying our footy, we enjoy each other's company, and it's really nice to be competitive in that space. So look forward to going up against the Roosters and bringing on the semi-final occasion.
The junkyard dogs, isn't it? Alrighty, so we've got a few questions from fans now.
Hi Robbie, my question is for you. Who is your favourite player to play with, and who is the scariest player to play against?
They're the worst questions. Oh, they are really tough questions. So, worst player to play against, I wouldn't say they're bad to play against. They're just a little bit scary, a lot bigger than me. And I came up against her a few weeks ago and I came off second best, but I would have to say Elsie Alberts is probably a player I don't want to come up against too often. And then one of my favourite players, one of my good friends, and not a teammate at the moment, but I would have to say Tamika Upton. I think just her ability to control a team and direct them around the park, but also she's very elusive with the football, so she's quite a dangerous player. And unfortunately, I'm playing her this weekend.
Great
Thank you. Awesome questions.
Hi, my question's for Hannah. And did you play rugby league at your school?
Yeah, we didn't have any pathways back at school, so I started playing footy just at my local club, and that was from 6 to 11. And then at school, we didn't have any pathways, so to have the pathways we've got now is unreal, and we're just developing the game. So, yeah, it's great to see where it's going.
Good question. Next one.
Hi, my question's for Isabel. Who inspired you to play footy?
Very good one. Probably my dad for me inspired me to play footy. When I was a young girl, I was around the local Berkeley Vale footy team, just there in the canteen helping out and being one of those little girls that followed my brothers everywhere. But also for me, when the test match for the Gillaroos and the Kiwi Ferns was in Newcastle, I went and watched that game, and I was absolutely inspired, and I knew that was exactly what I wanted to do. I saw all the girls hitting hard, running hard, and I was just super inspired to hopefully be in that team one day. So that was probably the biggest thing.
Amazing. And our last fan question.
My question's for Georgia. How did you start out in rugby league?
Thank you. I remember I was a little girl watching the Warriors at Mount Smart Stadium, so up the wires. So we love the Warriors, and I was running around similar to Iz at East Coast Bay's Rugby League grounds watching my brother, so it's in the family, so it was probably a matter of time since I picked up the footy.
Thank you.
Thank you for those awesome questions. And I think those last couple of answers really highlight what the four of you, your teams, and the whole 10-team competition really represents. You can't be what you can't see, and you're inspiring this next generation. So we cannot wait to see the incredible footy this weekend and find out who's going to be in that grand final. Well, thank you to all of our representatives here, to the players, the fans, the media, and of course, Telstra. Thank you. And here's to a spectacular NRL Telstra Women's Premiership Finals Series. The women's game has never been stronger at all levels of the game.